have one of those games that you love, absolutely love, but you have a hard time getting to the table because of the setup, right? You try whatever you can do. You do that thing where you put it on the table when your friends come over and be like, oh, well, I guess we can play this one, right? Some games are so incredible but have so many components that it makes it almost a detractor to put it on the table. One of my favorite games of the year is Anachrony by Mind Clash. This is a fantastic time-traveling worker placement game that has art that looks like Jodorowsky's Dune. I mean, it is absolutely incredible. It's an incredible game. You can check out my review in the playlist with all my other reviews here on the Dice Tower. Really great game. I can't stress that enough, right? Really hard to get to the table because there's about a bajillion bits to it. Now, that's part of what makes it charming, though, is all the different things that are involved. It's one of those games that manages to do a lot of things but gets it all done efficiently. But enough about that. You can watch a review for that. Here's what we're talking about. What if there was a way to make it where you could take your favorite games and get them to the table faster, get them played faster, and more importantly, get them put away faster? So much so that you streamline the process to where you can get this game out on the table faster than you can get, say, like Whistle Stop or some of these games. Now, I don't know, I haven't tested that yet, but be a worthy test. Anyway, here's the point. There's a Venn diagram when it comes to inserts and certain things like that. We're looking at one from Meeple Realty today. Incredible designs this company has, but we're going to take a look at some of the things. There are a few criteria that an insert has to have to be worth its salt. There is it, first of all, the design? Is it efficient, right? Secondly, is it cost efficient? Thirdly, does it actually help get the game to the table, or does it just muddy things up? Fourthly would be aesthetic things like the box, setting up, does it close all the way? All that's kind of secondary, but there's a certain area where those Venn diagrams cross, and we need to get that sweet spot to find out, is it worth getting? So we're going to take a look today at the Time Capsule Insert from Meeple Realty for Anachrony. Let's look right now. All right, so let's just do it. Let's get into this thing. Let's look at it. Let's see what it offers. Okay, first of all, this is a big game in general. It's a very big box, right? Meaty box. So here we go. Let's start with just what you see when you open the box. A perfectly designed tray, first of all, for every single scientific upgrade divided by shape and symbol. Really great. All of your boards fit right there, and notice, fit perfectly flush right there against the edge. These are all the player boards, including the chrononauts here. So all those kind of fit right on top. This gets a little wonky. You've got a few different options with this kind of, but just this part, but it all fits right there. There's no, like, when I say wonky, I don't mean that it's weird. This just kind of fits right into here. It can either go up into there, or if you don't want to get it to the arch, you can put it right there. That's that part of the board. The rest of the boards can go down there. Rule books can go there, or you can just kind of squeeze them on top. Check out these unit trays. These are gorgeous. They pop up. They hold the units perfectly. They have little designs that hold, or little, notches that hold the units perfectly if you have the expansion. If you don't have the expansion, this part's irrelevant. You wouldn't really need this as much. But on the back here, each faction, their symbol etched into it. Really great. So I just showed you one, but everybody's symbol is on the back of their faction little carrier here. So cool. Love that, love it, love it. Including the chrononauts, they get one as well. See if I can show you without dropping them this time. Love it. So, what else is there? Okay. Those are on the bottom, so I'm not going to bother taking them all the way out. See, they just pop right into their little notch. Card holders, and here's one of the things I love. Since these card holders are meant to just hold the cards and be part of the game, there's the symbol notched in for what they do. They also have little kickstands to keep them held up straight. Beautiful design right there. Love it, love it, love it. Let's move this out of the way. That simple little tray, I love it. This is just an extra tray, holds bits. It's neat. You can use it for other things, or you can take it out of the box if you didn't want it. This one is for one of the other expansions, again with the kickstands and the symbols for what they do. That's a great aesthetic. These boards here, the little smaller boards, go right here. This is the main game cards, again with the kickstands. Down here, let's see if I can get to this without having to pull those boards out for just a second. This is the one player and the chrononaut stuff, as well as all the dice go in there. The rest of these boards, kind of the expansion boards, are here. Those go there. These are the player things, but here's what I want to show you too. This is the workers. So it's got this top, shows all the different workers, what they are. Pops up like that. There's two trays of them. You can just separate them out like that. They go back into each other just like this. And then you close it up and you have a wonderful, lovely day. Just like that. You gotta love the flip top on that. It's great. Over here, similar thing with the resources. Actually, let me pull this out first. It's going to be easier. Beautiful, right? Similar thing with the resources. But on the back, You've got the Anachrony symbol. Love that, man. Including the notch cut out. I mean, that just looks good, right? So the lid is here. Everything fits inside of here. It just kind of pops up. All of your resources fit in here. You can fill them all up like I've done, or you can kind of separate and put some in the lower section too. That's what this is for resources. This will close back up. Then we will move over here to the tiles for the city spaces for the buildings. Look at that. The art is perfectly cut out in shapes. This side, you're probably supposed to have them face up where you can tell a little bit easier, but this way you know what's up. In fact, you could use this as a face down deck instead of actually putting them face down on the table. That's probably what that's for. Is you see the symbol, you just draw. I love it. I think that's brilliant. Also, you put your anomalies there. Over here, it's the victory points and the power cores. Go in there, slide in just like that. Slides into their little slot. And then over here, it's one of my favorites in the game. This thing is this right here. It's for the timeline track. Beautiful, right? And then your super projects fit up here, and then down here, it's your paradox tokens and anomaly tokens. Everything's cut out for it. Beautiful shape. And that's it. That's everything that's in here. Oh, I forgot to show you, sorry. The each player gets these too, with their reference cards and everything. Everything fits in there. If you're playing without the plastic mechs, those are here. All the tokens are there. Everybody gets one of these for their characters, just like that. And the last but not least are these tiles that you know what they're for in the game after the explosion happens. Boom, just like that. And so that's all the contents here. A lot of work goes into putting this one together, and it's worth it though. Once you get everything in here, you realize, oh man, this is beautiful. I love every bit of this because it just works. It does what it's supposed to do. Everything fits and it works quite well. So that's it for the setup. That's it for what it's in it. Is it worth you getting now that you've seen it, now that you've seen how fast it makes things? Again, you don't ever have to take these out because they're already there. And you shuffle them up, stick them back in, and you're good to go. I mean, it's so easy. These are divided by type, as well. So, really, it made a lot of ease of access into this game so you can get it to the table faster. So that's it. Absolutely beautiful. Now, obviously, we got to throw out the disclaimer in the first place. Inserts are expensive things. They're expenses for your game. Now here's the deal. Before we even go into the point of, my goodness, they're charging this or this, it's irrelevant. If you're going to upgrade your game, there are costs involved. When you go out and buy the upgraded resources for certain games, there's a cost involved. So if you're the type of gamer who likes to upgrade games that they really like, cost is not as important. I'm not saying that, your budget, okay? That's obviously a sticky topic to talk about, but cost is not necessarily the thing you look at first if you planned on upgrading anyway. That's what I'm trying to say. However, this is an expensive game anyway, so I mean, that's part of it. But my point is this. We can't look at cost as the end-all, be-all. It's got a good price tag to it. It's pretty hefty, the price tag. But what's inside of this box for a custom-designed, laser-etched, perfectly fit insert that I only had to put one bit of glue on. Now results may differ obviously, but it's going to cost something. It's a craft good. It's an artisan good for your game. So let's get past cost for just a minute, okay? That's where that is on the diagram. Secondly, let's look at design. This is one of the best looking ones with the laser etched, or however they do. I don't know if it's laser or not, but the etched in designs that match the game. It's the actual game art etched onto it. The hinging boxes with the pins. The fact that it all fits really nice inside of this box and the box closes and I'm storing it vertically. The fact that every single thing just looks like what it should. I mean, the holes that show you what things are kind of match the art style of each card. The shape of the boxes, really matches the, for instance, the timeline cards. All that sort of thing really adds up when you look at the aesthetic, the visual appeal of one of these. Now, the last thing, is it efficient? Does it actually do its job to get this to the table faster? Yes, 100% yes. There's no more opening bags, dumping stuff into little cups, or just opening, hey, can you get some new cities out? For instance, when you do that part of the phase, when you turn over the two cards and you then seed the board with resources and you see the board with workers, boom, they're right there in their little cups. They're right there in their holders. And then when you're done, fold it back up. You can throw everything back in those dividers. They stay divided. That is what makes this an absolute win when it comes to dividers, when it comes to inserts. So, should you get this? If you're going to upgrade your game, get this divider. If you want this game to hit the table more, get this divider. If you want to just really make this game even better than it already is, get this divider. It will definitely increase your playtime. It looks amazing, and it's not a terrible price at all. It's not a bad price at all for such a beautiful handcrafted artisan good. Or handcrafted, you know what I mean. It's a crafted artisan good. So that is the Time Capsule review from Meeple Realty. Excellent, excellent insert. Make sure to check this out. Go and pick this up. I can't recommend this enough. It is a beautiful insert, and it really, really, really does its job. So that's enough of me talking about it. You got the picture. The one thing, though, it does take a long time to build. It took about 2 hours solid working. If you didn't stop, you didn't do anything else, solid working. I didn't use a mallet or anything like that. I barely used any glue. I mostly just used my fingers, which is why they're so sore. But it's not hard to do. There's one or two things that are a little bit wonky and you have to be really careful about. But other than that, it's really simple. So that's it for this time with the latest retro. I'm Bryan Drake. We'll see you next time.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.